Watch this, watch this. See that button over here? Okay, there's a button over there. Watch this, watch. Keep the eyes on the screen. What happened? It's recording a video. And it stopped. So maybe you have already noticed that some of the Sony lenses, especially the G Master lenses and some of the G lenses, have these random buttons, well, random buttons on them that have no marking on them. On this lens, there's 3. 1, 2, there's another one on the bottom over there. For example, this one over here, this is a G lens, and there is a button over here. So what do these buttons actually do? There are not that many videos out there explaining what these buttons do, but basically these are customizable buttons and you can make them do kind of whatever you... As you can see on some of your Sony cameras, you have different custom buttons. Also on the top over here, there's 1, there's 2, and there's other ones. The same way you can customize these buttons, you can customize these as well. On this lens, there's 3, but they actually do the same thing. It's just when you tilt the lens and turn it, you can just, you have a button underneath your finger. So let me show you how you can customize these buttons, okay? So on your Sony camera, go to the menu, and depending on your model, it might be in a different place. But on this Sony a6500, it's on the 2nd tab and then 8th menu or sub-menu. But basically what you're looking for is a custom key or custom function key settings. On my Sony a6500, there's 2 separate ones. One is for shooting and one is for playback. So basically we want to go onto the shooting settings, because as we're shooting video or photos, we want this button to act when we're shooting photos. There's also a playback setting, so all these customizable buttons you can obviously configure when you're watching something back, or when you're doing like watching your photos back. You can make these buttons do separate things when you're actually on the playback thing. Then on these, we're gonna go to the 2nd tab, and then on the very bottom you can see there is a focus hold button. Now focus hold button is basically what these buttons on the lens do. These lenses or whatever lens you have, if you have this button over there, this is called a focus hold button, and there is so many different things that you can make it to do. Okay, let me just select it and then you can see what you can do. Okay, by the way, depending on your camera, it can actually do even more things. So if you're going for the Mark IV series alpha cameras, or Mark III series cameras, or Sony A9 series cameras, then they all can do more and more things. Depends how many different functions the camera or Sony has put into the camera that this can do, but I'm just gonna read out a few of them to you. As you can see, it can do a movie, frame rate, audio levels, display markets, silent shooting, steady shot settings, finder, zebras, grid lines, center smartphone, download application, monitor brightness, camera display, loads of focus, loads of image quality settings for photos, drive modes. You can go memory buttons, so you can load your settings for the camera, focus modes, exposure compensation, ISO, metering mode, flash mode, white balance, creative style, picture effect. I can keep going, and there's absolutely tons. As you can see, I keep scrolling down. There's absolutely loads of things you can do. So if you're shooting photos, you have a lot of cool things to assign this. One of the most popular ones that I've been using, and I've seen other people use this button for as well, is an eye focus. So whenever you're pointing the lens someone, just boom, hit the button, and then it's eye focusing on the subject. Or if you want it to be anything you want for your photo, wherever you feel like, oh, I just need one more extra button to do something, then these buttons come very, very useful. But for video, I think it's a little bit of a different story. For video, I don't think these buttons can do that much different that I can't already assign on the camera body function buttons or custom function buttons. That you can use it for video as well. It works exactly the same on video as on photos. Whatever you assign it to, it can do it. Obviously, if you're on video mode, it can't do eye autofocus, or it can't do your flash mode or things like that that don't apply to video mode, if you know what I mean. But if you want to, like I showed you before, I have, just for a demonstration over here, I have assigned this button to do record movie. So whenever I press this button, boom, as you can see, it's starting recording and stops recording. So to sum it up, the button is called Focus Hold Button. and you can assign it to do whatever you want it to do in the camera settings. If you don't know how to do that, follow the instructions on this video like I did. Now what I'd like to know is if you're already using this button, what are you using it for? Because I'd like to know like some useful settings or useful scenarios that I'm thinking, actually, yeah, that is really useful. I want to do that. Or if you are not using this, what do you think about using it for? What would you like this button to do? Or that button? I mean, there's nothing else to say. Thanks guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And by the way, I know you haven't subscribed because my channel analytics says that over 95% of you who are watching, you're not subscribed. So if you like this video, might as well just be subscribed because there's more videos coming. Okay, like the video, found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. If you have any other questions or things you wanna, say, I'll meet you in the comment section below. Adios!